Hey everybody, what's up? Robett Hollis here. The CEOs of 2020. I predict in the next 5 years, there's going to be the biggest shift in handover of the youngest CEOs of all time that are taking over businesses. I think that will happen for two reasons. One, the boards are now realizing they need people that are old enough, that they've executed enough at a young enough age to be credible, that they trust, but then young enough so they live in the world that we currently live in, so they understand the current state of the market. So I think we're going to see the biggest shift of newly appointed CEOs at the youngest age demographics of all time in the next 5 years. That's the first one. Now this is the second bit, which is it's very interesting. I then think within 24 months of these new CEOs taking in place, over half of those guys will get fired and gassed. Why? Because I think that they won't have enough self-control and to be able to control the ego, that by giving all this power and all this money and control of money to someone at a young enough age and top of big organizations, I don't think that a lot of them will be able to handle I don't think it's the pressure. I think that the ego will overrun the IQ, and they'll start to do some, I don't know, just I could sense a big swinging dick off when you give a whole bunch of people a bunch of money, and if they've got the ego there. So that thing. Then what I think is the guys that are left remaining that can survive through the first 3 years of tenureship, if they're a young CEO, I believe that they will then become the future leaders of our country and the world's biggest businesses for the next 50 years, because they'll have enough self-control and awareness to juggle off the ego and pressures and all the people and stuff with the responsibilities of big business, and it won't be as ego driven when you've got that youth. And if they can put that to the side and it becomes about the business, then obviously if they're executing the lane that they're currently in, that will be a pretty interesting thing. So that is my prediction for CEOs within the next 5 years. Huge change up. Then half of them will get gassed because they won't be able to control their ego when you give it, kid in a candy store type thing, and they'll start doing some weird dumb shit. And I think the problem now is, once again, not only in the next 2 years will these brands that we've already been talking about trying to find the digital generals, the reality is that these new people with the new 2.0, 3.0 way of thinking, they're going to have to become CEOs, and that's going to be a really, really interesting time. So look for some big players. That's my prediction for the next 5 years. We will see the biggest shift of the youngest CEOs in the history of business, and it's going to be a very, very interesting time to watch youth balance money, power, and ego simultaneously in big organizations. Very intrigued to see how this plays out with some of New Zealand's biggest companies. See you guys soon. Peace.